There is a moment when the world around you starts to blur, not because of the fast-paced life or a multitude of distractions, but from monotony. The same roads, the same skies, the same rhythm of small-town days. Slowly and subtly it begins to wear on you, and then the realization kicks in. The camera that took me to so many beautiful places became a weight I didn't feel like lifting. The spark I carried, fading. But something inside me refused to go quiet. On a deeper level, I understood that I was in one of those moments where you are slowly but surely lured away from curiosity, excitement, adventure, and into that sweet yet deceptive comfort. Giving in would mean a certain spiritual and artistic death. So I refused. I've always believed that inspiration hides in the overlooked, waiting patiently to be seen in a new light. In this video, I set out to change not what I see, but how I see. This is my way of rediscovering that my camera is not just a tool, but an extension of my endless curiosity and desire to see the world from a different perspective. Interesting. That might hold the key to helping me see things from a new perspective. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I've been stranded in this sleepy little town for far too long. It's been a proper rut, artistically speaking, and my creativity is flatter than the earth in some corners of the internet. So to fend off the boredom and avoid resorting to whittling spoons, I've been binge-watching Nick Carver's YouTube videos.
But it's not level, it's tilting this way, so it's going downhill.
And I have to say, the images that he produces of seemingly mundane objects and scenes are an absolute stroke of genius. And that got me thinking, what if I have a bash at this kind of panoramic photography? You know, shake things up, try something new before I start talking to myself in the mirror. One slight hiccup though, I don't own a posh large format 6x17 film camera like Nick does. And then the chances of me purchasing one anytime soon are slim to none. But then I had a thought. Who needs a fancy gear? I'll grab my digital camera and snap a bunch of shots, then stitch them into a panorama in Lightroom and, hey presto. I mean,
how hard can it be?
So my mission, already in full swing, and let's face it, I've got nothing better to do, is to roam this hamlet and find something worth pointing a lens at, something that doesn't look like it belongs on a cheesy and dull postcard. Alright, so here's my first spot. Now at first glance, this might not seem like much. The gorgeous birch tree, the lazy river, and that yellow bridge in the distance. And yet, I think they're begging for a panoramic shot. Now, a proper 6x17 camera would nail this in one go, ensuring that all the lines are straight. Digital cameras? Not quite. You've got to stitch shots together, and that's where it can get a bit messy. Parallax and movement can twist your lines quite a bit. A nodal gimbal would save the day, obviously, but do I have one? Nope. So let's just wing it and see if I can make this work without cocking it up. Now, because there are all these boats parked here, essentially in front of my composition, they are getting in the way a bit, so I'm gonna have to cheat a bit and show you an image that I took last year. It's the same composition, the same settings, the same everything, just a bit different timing. Now, one of the more annoying but also quite fun challenges with this type of panoramic photography, particularly the glorious 6x17 format, is finding the right subject or scene to shoot. You think it'd be easy, just point the camera at something pretty, press the button, and off you go. And if you're shooting a mountain vista, it is. However, if you're looking for subjects in an urban environment, it can be a challenging endeavor. That massive wide frame can complicate things. The composition? Well, it can feel like trying to arrange a dinner party with guests who don't particularly like each other, yet all have to be in the same room. Scouting for 6x17 panoramic shots is therefore an essential part of the process. It's about pre-visualizing the final image long before the tripod ever touches the ground. And to help with that, I use an app called Magic Film Viewfinder. Not sponsored, obviously, though if they're listening. Anyway, I'm sure other apps do a similar job, and what it does is mimic the field of view of a 6x17 camera, letting me frame a scene as if I were already looking through the lens. That shift in perspective is crucial. It pushes me to compose differently, to think more expansively, and over time, it helps train my eye to see the world in a more panoramic way, so to speak. So once you are ready to go out on a quick scouting mission, armed only with a phone, an app of some description, and an inflated sense of artistic ambition, the goal is to find a scene where all the elements work together, something in the middle, something off to the sides, a bit of balance, a bit of drama. So as you probably guessed, I am at my second location, and it's a rather simple scene. A bunch of trees on the left, a cobble street in the middle, and a rather beautiful building off to the right. So let's not overthink it, the camera is all set, and let's take a series of shots. Come think of it, another reason why I've got slightly obsessed with the Panoramic 6x17 format is that it looks like a Hollywood blockbuster. The Hateful Eight, which I recently watched, is a perfect example of one. The format does excel at capturing environment and context, which means it's great for visual storytelling. Is it any wonder then that so many films are shot in anamorphic widescreen? It's like the camera is saying, I'm not here to show you a thing, I'm showing you everything. But here's the catch. With that much frame to play with, the challenge is not just pointing and shooting, it's actually telling a coherent story. So start with your focal point, or, as Roman Fox would say, your anchor. It could be a tree, a building, or some other solitary object. Whatever it is, it needs to grab attention. But, and this is important, it can't do all the heavy lifting alone. You need to connect that subject to your environment. Ask yourself how surrounding objects can work as supporting elements that help tell the story. Think of the frame like a novel. Your subject is the main character, and the rest are the supporting cast, except you've only got one line to tell the whole story. Now let's take the third location that I really love. It's a rather simple yet beautiful scene. This brick-paved path meandering between this white house that's partially covered with all this beautiful thick green foliage, bushes and trees and whatnot, and on the opposite side it's bordered by this black fence or railing or whatever you want to call it. Then there is this green embankment and a river on the other side. A really tranquil scene creating this natural and secluded atmosphere. Love it. Alright, that's me almost done for the day. I wandered around this quirky small town long enough to develop a mild sense of hunger and thirst. I think it's time to hit the pub. But before I do that, I'll take one last shot. Honestly, I'm chuffed to bits with how these images turned out. Who knew you didn't need a posh, large format film camera the size of a microwave to make something that looks halfway decent? Turns out all you really need is your good old camera, a fresh perspective, and a bit of patience. It just goes to show, it's not always about the gear, but rather the willingness to seek a new perspective with whatever tools you have available. Although if Hasselblad is watching this, feel free to prove me wrong by sending something shiny in Swedish. Anyway, the last location. An interesting scene here. A group of trees on the left, dirt track in the middle, and an old dilapidated building off to the right. I like the juxtaposition and layers of the lively tree and the old decaying building. A shot for posterity, a time capsule, if you will. The camera is all set, so let's get this done. Alright, so my work here is done, and it's time to go and grab myself a cheeky pint. Also, I would love to hear what you think about all these images. Maybe you're trying something new in your own photography, whether that's film, digital, what have you. Drop it in the comments below. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Ciao!